The Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, has always been a pretty big staple of this mega popular children's network, as I discussed in depth in one of the very first episodes of my channel. If you haven't seen it and you're new, I'm Laura Youngblood, and welcome to From Laura's Perspective. In today's episode, I'm going to rank the 10 movies made specifically for Disney Channel that I personally enjoyed the most. With so many iconic DCOMs, it wasn't easy to narrow it down to just 10. DCOMs based on Disney Channel series were considered for this list, but don't expect to see too many. Just so we're clear, for any franchise such as High School Musical or Camp Rock, all of its movies are counted as one entry. Now let's get started. At number 10 is Cadet Kelly. When it comes to Disney Channel, Hilary Duff is probably best known for playing the title role on Lizzie McGuire. But it's completely unacceptable that her iconic role as Kelly Collins in Cadet Kelly is so overlooked. When Collins' single mother marries a military general, the free-spirited teenager must learn to adjust to the highly structured environment of military school. When her antics get her court-martialed, she finds herself having to work closely with the school's drill team and eventually finds herself joining. Kelly Collins really is a dynamic character who struggles to adapt to an environment completely opposite of what she's used to. She doesn't let this facility change who she is, but allows the experience to expand who she is as an individual and learn things she never knew before. Coming in at number 9, we've got The 13th Year. In a world much like our own, which questions the existence of mermaids but is still open to the idea, Cody Griffin is abandoned by his mermaid mother to avoid capture and adopted by Whit and Sharon Griffin when they find him on their boat. When Griffin turns 13, he begins to notice changes to his body, but not the ones most 13-year-old boys do. Griffin's growing fins and scales and also gaining the ability to generate electricity. Eventually, it's revealed that Griffin is, in fact, turning into a merman. This generates a complicated mixture of feelings in Griffin, mostly relating to how he fears his loved ones will take the news. Spoiler alert! By the end, Cody is a full merman and decides that what's best for him is that he leave his life on land to reunite with his mermaid birth mother. This film's allegory for puberty is said to be a precursor for films such as Turning Red, which deals with puberty in an even more direct way. Number 8 is Lemonade Mouth. This 2011 DCOM could be best described as a modern-day breakfast club that expands on the group's new bond past their detention. Popular 2010s Disney actress Bridget Mendler plays the titular band's lead singer Olivia White, who tells the story of how said band came to be. It all started when lead singer Olivia, rebellious new girl lead guitarist Stella Yamada, South Asian overachiever Mo Banjari, drummer Charlie Delgado, who lives in the shadow of his older brother, and keyboarder Wen Gifford, who's struggling to adjust to a change at home, all ended up in detention for different reasons on the same day. When they discover each other's musical talents, they form a band and agree to enter a competition called Rising Star, despite concerns that they will be beat out by the much more popular Mudslide Crush. All throughout, the band members deal with creative differences, ridicule from peers and adults, issues at home, and more. Best of all, this film gave us a soundtrack with unforgettable anthems of unity and empowerment, such as Determinate, More Than a Band, and Breakthrough. Number 7 is Luck of the Irish. This 2001 DCOM is all about the importance of heritage, the place of the Irish in America, and about what luck truly is. High school student Kyle Johnson has always been super popular and a basketball star thanks to a gold coin he owns. One day, when he loses it, he learns that his family is not only of Irish heritage, but are leprechauns who pass as humans as long as he has that gold coin. In the absence of this coin, Kyle's luck goes from bad to worse. While Kyle's grandfather O'Reilly and classmate Bonnie are helping him get the coin back from an evil leprechaun named Seamus, he learns that luck doesn't always come from a coin inherited from your ancestors. You can also create your own luck. At number 6, we've got the iconic Camp Rock franchise. Growing up, summer camp movies were always my favorite. So when 7-year-old me heard about a DCOM that was not only about summer camp, but a rock and roll music camp, I was excited and knew I had to see it. This mega popular DCOM duology made stars out of Demi Lovato and of the Jonas Brothers. In the first movie, Michi Torres is given the opportunity to attend the titular music camp where her mother's catering company is to provide the food. While there, Michi struggles to hide her identity from her wealthier bunkmates who come from famous musician parents, particularly Tess Tyler, daughter of pop star TJ Tyler. In the second film, Michi and the Camp Rock gang fight to save Camp Rock when the camp is faced with competition in the form of another camp across the lake called Camp Star. As it was for many, it was really hard for me to hear about the personal stuff Lovato was going through behind the scenes of the second movie. But not even that can ruin this story of music, friendship, and finding yourself. Halfway through at number 5 is the most popular DCOM of all time, High School Musical. Even to this day, the High School Musical franchise is king of the DCOMs. That is not up for debate. The 3 films' iconic characters and soundtracks have made Disney Channel a large heap of cash from viewership and merchandising. In the first movie, shy transfer genius Gabriela Montez and basketball star Troy Bolton break ground at East High School in Albuquerque when the two accidentally audition for their school musical Twinkletown, much to the dismay of their respective cliques. In the second film, the East High gang spends their summer vacation working various jobs at the Lava Springs Country Club. In the third film, which was given a theatrical release, the East High gang performs together one last time before graduating high school and heading off to college. To say that High School Musical changed the landscape and approaches of the Disney Channel original movie is a huge understatement. So inevitably, it had to be on this countdown somewhere. Number 4 is the criminally underrated Smart House. A high-tech house that caters to its owner's every need and want and then turns out to not be all it's cracked up to be is a tale as old as time and a bit cliche. What stands out about Smart House is that it tells that same story, but in a lighthearted, comedic, and endearing way. Ben Cooper was one of Ryan Merriman, who played Kyle Johnson in Luck of the Irish's breakout roles. Ben lives with his father and younger sister and has felt responsible for taking care of them ever since his mother died when he was very young. When Ben sees the Smart House being advertised, he sees this as an opportunity to get something that will help his family, to prove that they can get by without a mother. After his family wins the house in a contest, 13-year-old Ben turns to the Smart House to help him navigate the highs and lows of adolescence, but finds that it can only do even that to a certain extent. Moreover, the Smart House becomes more and more aggressive and controlling of the Coopers, and they eventually decide that it's time to shut her down. What earns Smart House its spot on this list is that when you actually watch it, you find it to be a much more heartwarming and emotional story than you might think when you first hear about it. Number 3 is the Cheetah Girls franchise. Did you know that the Cheetah Girls movie franchise is actually based on a series of middle grade novels by Deborah Gregory? When I found out, I ordered a few of these books on Amazon and decided that I wanted to write a lot of literature just like it. Like the High School Musical and Camp Rock franchises, all 3 movies of the Cheetah Girls franchise come with unforgettable soundtracks. The movies are about a singing girl group and their dreams and ambitions of making their music world famous. The first film takes place in New York City, where the titular characters live and go to school. For the second film, the group spends a summer in Barcelona, Spain. In the third and final film, from which Galleria is absent, the three remaining group members pursue a Bollywood film opportunity in India. Said group members consist of Galleria Garibaldi, a wealthy girl who lives on the Upper East Side with a black mother and white Italian father, Chanel Simmons, a Latina fashionista and shopaholic who's Dominican and Puerto Rican on her mom's side and Jamaican and Cuban on her dad's, a black girl from Texas with a great sense of Southern pride named Aqua, who had a twin named Angie in the books, and Dorinda Thomas, a talented dancer who's hiding the secret that she lives in the projects with a foster mother. The Cheetah Girls franchise was revolutionary for its handling of race, ethnicity, and culture through its racially diverse main characters and locations of Spain and India in the second and third movies, respectively. Our runner-up is The Color of Friendship. This 2000 movie is based on the true story of two girls from completely different worlds who become the best of friends through a student exchange program. In 1971, 13-year-old Piper DeCoMs and her black family, including her congressman father Ron, vehemently oppose the apartheid regime and other forms of racism. They host a South African student named Mari Bach, whose father is a police officer who actively enforces apartheid. In the time Mari spends with the DeCoMs family, the two call into question the assumptions they'd previously held about each other. In particular, Mari is forced to rethink the prejudices she'd been conditioned to have about black people and how she and her family benefit from those prejudices. Things take a dark turn, however, after black South African activist Steve Biko is assassinated and the embassy tries to have Mari sent home. Although Ron succeeds in preventing this from happening, Mari and Piper have a blowout over the true cause of Biko's death. When Mari's semester in America is up, she returns home with a new view of the world. And as the end screen puts it, the DeCoMs family continued to advocate against apartheid until it was finally overturned in 1994. Before I tell you what my favorite DCOM of all time is, I want to give a shout out to a few movies that almost made the cut. Phineas and Ferb the movie, Across the Second Dimension, Princess Protection Program, Quince, Miracle in Lane 2. And now it's time to announce my number one favorite DCOM of all time, Cowbells. Sure, I like those big name franchises like High School Musical and Camp Rock, and if you've been paying attention, you know that I gave both their due spots on this list. However, I have to say that my favorite is genuinely one that is so criminally underrated. If you know anything about Cowbells, you know that the main characters of Taylor and Courtney Callum were an iconic role for Allie and AJ Michalka, respectively. Inspired by The Simple Life, this film tells the story of the summer the spoiled daughters of wealthy dairy owner Reed Callum got a harsh reality check. After a streak of irresponsible behavior from Taylor and Courtney, Reed reaches his breaking point and puts his daughters to work on the production line at Callum Dairy. Having never worked a day in their lives, they initially have no idea what they're doing. Things only get worse when the company is scammed by Reed's business partner, Bob Fenwick, leaving the company bankrupt and on the brink of shutting down. While working through these issues and fighting to save the family business, Taylor and Courtney both learn a lot about life, love, family, the world, and themselves. Thank you all so much for watching. Disney Channel has been giving us some memorable, iconic media ever since its launch in 1983, but the Disney Channel original movie has definitely been one of its biggest staples. Disney Channel has been making iconic original films ever since the 90s and is continuing on that tradition to this day in 2023. Inevitably, the DCOM has changed and evolved a great deal ever since its inception, but what hasn't changed is Disney Channel's ability to tell relatable, hilarious, heartwarming stories through its original movies. If you haven't already, check out one of my early 2-part video essays, The History and Evolution of Disney Channel, in which I discuss how the DCOM, among other aspects of Disney Channel, came to be and have evolved ever since. I've provided the link to both parts in the description and on your end screen. You can learn how a wide variety of other things came to be and evolved through my numerous video essays on my channel, which I add to at least twice a week. To know when I do, which you'll want to if you liked this video, smash that subscribe button and turn the notification bell black. I hope you'll do this so I can see you next time.